David Franklin here with the National Day of Prayer, and just want to ask that question again. Does your prayer make a difference? I'm talking about not just one prayer, but I'm talking about long-term pray in your community, what you've been doing, some of you for years. God bless you. Thank you so much, because you do make a difference. See, history is written by the intercessors. In my area up in Bartow County, in northwest Georgia, we've been praying and praying and praying for years now. Let me give you one example of what we call long-term praying. Making a difference. Watch this. The other day, a friend of mine, Dale, he's a sheriff's deputy. Now I'm talking about he's a prayer warrior. He had to serve a warrant on a guy, common name Steve, and he checked his picture out, saw that he had tattoos all the way up on his face and everything, knocked on the door of this house to serve this warrant. Guy came to the door. He looked at him and he said, okay, this guy's all tatted up, but he didn't have on his face. And he looked at him and he said, are you Steve so-and-so? And he said, yes. He said, I've got a warrant for your arrest, but you don't look like the right Steve that I'm looking for. And he said that there's another one. He said, but it could have been me. It has been me before, because I've been in jail before. And they talked, and this guy Steve, he wasn't the right guy, which is great. But he talked about how his life was just gotten fired from his job. He was frustrated. Things weren't going well. And he said to Dale, he said, I've actually thought about it. I told my girlfriend, and she lives with me, she said, I told her we may need to go to church. And old Dale had the presence of mind, because he knows we've been praying. We've been praying. I'm talking about over people, prayer walking, doing all kinds of things. He had the presence of mind to talk to him about Jesus. And he had thrown that arrest warrant down on the porch. And old Steve knelt down next to that arrest warrant and prayed to receive Christ, and is a new believer now. He got up and he looked at Dale and said, you know what? This wasn't an accident. God sent you here today. You see, prayer does make a difference. And the more you pray, the more God's going to do things. So don't get discouraged. Be encouraged. And think we're going to pray not just on the National Day of Prayer, but we're going to pray and keep praying and keep praying. And we are going to be relentless and not stop until God does what God wants to. God bless you, and thank you for what you're doing.